Welcome to topic 12, Excel, basic spreadsheet functions. I'm going to go through a few of the little details that will help you with activity 1, which is the purchase order, activity 2, which is a time budget, and activity 3, which is a monthly expenses budget. All three of these use the program Microsoft Excel. And since you are creating something, let's try a blank workbook. See here that a workbook is an entire Excel file, and it is broken up into worksheets, which you can have new ones, and you can delete them, and you can rename them, and look at that, you can even move and copy them. Fabulous. We have a home menu, which is very similar ribbon to common look and feel of the other Microsoft personal productivity software. We have bold and italics underlined, some color, some size, some font. You can move around the alignment of the data that is in a cell. Speaking of which, this is cell A1. We have columns, we have rows. You can select the whole worksheet. And right now this is blank, there is nothing. If we go to print, there is nothing to print. So to have something, we must type. Anything can go into a cell. Mostly true. We have text. Those words are text. We have numbers. They can go in there as well. If you start with an apostrophe, anything that follows will be considered text. As you'll see with numbers, it will stay aligned on the left because this cell right here, A4, is text. The data that is in cell A2 is a number. Another data type is a result of a formula, and equals tells Excel you are going to do some formula work. So I wanted to add cell A1 to cell A2. Our answer will go there, and look at that, it's a value. That is an error. It says, look at Bud, anything can go in a cell is not a number, thus I cannot add it to a number. Let's say we want to swap that out for a different cell. Then we can do some math. Very clever. Another possibility here is doing some borders. This little box right here represents the cell. Select your line and where you'd like the lines to go. There we go. We now have a few things that will print. For your budget, or your purchase order, quite likely you're going to have some column labels. I don't know what you choose to make them. The basic idea of Excel is to place your labels above some data, and you want to make them stand out from the rest of the data. Usually there will be some numbers, an amount, maybe a whole bunch of them. You can copy down with that fill handle there to get some more interesting ones. I'll show you another trick here. If you want to increment, Excel's pretty smart. We'll see what you're doing. You can copy. Very clever. Maybe you want to have a formula of that +1. You can fill that down as well. If you'd like the value not to change, the F4 key will add some $signs, and this will actually allow you to copy down and keep that cell B12 from switching. And all of these cells it remains the same. It's just a clever little trick. Anyways, once you have a bunch of cells here, give it some borders, a whole bunch. Maybe all the borders. Maybe a nice big fat one around it. If you want to specify exactly, it can be found under here, under borders, and again, we have this box to play with. Some different lines, some different quick buttons. Clever. Once you have it the way you want to print it, you'll see if it shows up on one page or not. If you don't like what it's looking like, you can select a bunch of cells and set the print area. This represents exactly what we'll print. So if I have some stuff out here, it should not print. We still only have one page. If what you're trying to print is really massive, there is a possibility to scale your file down. I'll move this so you can actually see it. Maybe it'll actually fit on one page. Yes, it does. You notice it makes everything else smaller. It's not the best option, but if you haven't set up your page properly, that's a good alternative. You can also play with the orientation of the page itself. You're making it sideways. Wonderful. Anyways, it's a basic introduction to Excel. It's pretty easy to work with. Another idea that I have is that copying cells, as I did with the fill handle, or just flat out Control-C and Control-V, copy paste. A smart design is a design that allows you to do the least amount of typing. You want it to look pretty clear so that when you look at your worksheet, it presents the information in a very effective and clear way. A bad design will have you wondering what the worksheet is trying to show you.